I woke up with a hangover today, and I still got the things done I needed to do. Not because I'm a machine, because I'm building stability in real time. And here's the part nobody says out loud. If you don't rest into the rebuild, you'll burn the whole thing down. And rest is one of those hard things for me, and it's something I have to work at. But the question is, what if your income problem isn't just a money problem? What if it's a recovery problem? Hi, I'm Miles Threat. Thank you for joining me for Legacy Leaders Lounge today, where I help operations, supply chain, and manufacturing leaders build adaptive, high-performing teams that thrive in the chaos. And you can create a lot of chaos for yourself at times when you don't rest or you start the day out with a hangover. And by the way, I'm not proud of myself for that, but I did have some fun celebrating with a friend who's moving on in life and just enjoyed myself. So recently, I got laid off at 54 years old, and I wasn't overly disappointed about getting laid off, to be honest with you, okay? That didn't bother me so much. The shitty severance package, that fucking bothered me to death that I received. But I learned a good lesson, really good lesson. Hey, you can work your ass off, bring great results. Those motherfuckers, if they fuck it up, they might just fuck you over. And I got fucked over. And you can I still have some feelings about it. Yeah, I do. But first, it created an opportunity for myself. And it impacted my life in a different way. And I realized, there are several things that I had to deal with right away. So yeah, there's the whole money issue and the weak severance package that really sucked. And I probably should have been a little bit more prepared for. And I wasn't, okay? Let's just be honest. And there's this whole identity thing tied up into your roles and responsibilities and your title that I'd have to really kind of work through. And then, of course, it causes stress on the marriage because, hey, you got no job, financial stress, it impacts your marriage. And hey, women, they want security. Most people, hey, I want security. And some of that security was lost. And then there's the whole just being patient through it all and finding your way through it. And this ain't your typical guru success story on front end. This is like real life shit today. And no apologies. I'm just going to be kind of blunt about a lot of things. Hopefully, it won't bother you too bad. But there might be some language that might upset you, okay? And if it does, hopefully you'll get over it. There came a moment and when all this happened for me that I realized I couldn't use motivation to get me out of it or to get me through it. I mean, I pretty much believe motivation is overrated anyway. I really believe it takes a lot of discipline in life to be successful. It's great to feel good about things, but sometimes life sucks and it's hard and you just got to push through it. And hey, this is one of those phases in my life where, hey, it sucks, it's hard, and I've had to push through a lot of different things. And so I had to realize, Miles, you're going to build some discipline into your life through this. And really and truly, I looked at how's the way I can do this and optimize it the best way possible. The first time in life I don't have stupid rules and regulations and stupid shit from the corporate world I got to worry about. That I could just build this my way and kind of do it my way. And what I worked on doing was building a plan that could survive a bad day. And that plan started out with stability first. See, that stability is not very sexy, but stability is survival. And when you create stability on the front end and build a system and design a life and work that works for you, you're creating something that you can lean in on when times get really tough, when things get very hard. And maybe on those days you wake up and wonder, well, what in the hell am I going to do today? See, in the midst of all of that and trying to create that stability, the first thing I needed to do was try to figure out, man, how am I going to create some cash flow right now? See, that cash flow, it kind of calms the chaos. And chaos in moments like this, it can really kill your focus. Now, don't get me wrong. Did I have moments of chaos? Hell yeah. I had moments I wasn't focused. Yep, sure did. I had to get recentered, regrounded. I had to refocus. I know I'm using some language here, but hey, when that chaos hit and maybe even the cash wasn't flowing like it should be, I got that focus in prayer and a quiet time and reading the Bible and focusing on my relationship with God, how He can help me find peace in the midst of all this chaos as well. And for me to create that cash flow, I jumped right into my coaching business. I jumped all the way in. I didn't have anybody telling me what I needed to do, when I needed to do it. I didn't have to go clock in somewhere. I didn't have to go sit and waste my time in useless meetings anymore. And I could build a plan to make it work for me. But as I was doing that, I also needed to create an opportunity for money to come in. And it came in through my son. My youngest son was out doing roofing sales. He's like, Dad, just come work with me. You'll make more money working with me than you did in that corporate job. And no shame, no ego. I mean, a little humility. Yeah, it took a lot of humility because I was learning something new. Hey, my son was teaching me the ropes. But hey, I couldn't ask for a better opportunity. Now we get to spend time together in a different way. And it started helping me create that cash flow. And the nice thing about it is I'm working for myself. I'm working under somebody else's umbrella, but I'm working for me. I decide when I do this. I decide who my clients might be. I determine by what I do and when I do it, how much money I can make. And the thing about it is, it's so similar to what I'm already doing. I'm building a client list. I'm building a pipeline. I'm making connections. I'm networking. I'm making those calls. And at the same time, I can send out my proposals, reach out to people in my network. I can make the next step in my coaching business all at the same time and manage both. And the way I can do that is I use the hell out of AI. Yes, I do. All the time. Because let's be proficient. Let's utilize as much of it as possible to help me get everything I need to do done and do it effectively. And see, when you want to create that stability for yourself, you need to start defining for yourself, what are those cash producing actions that you need to be doing? Because what will happen if you don't figure out what they are and start doing them, you're going to get caught up in what I classify as the comfort actions. Comfort actions for me? Oh, that'd be like working on social media, creating some posts, designing something on Canva, designing a new post or something of that nature, or working on my logo, or trying to make my website a little bit more efficient at times. I mean, there's good stuff, but it's not cash producing actions. Cash producing actions were Friday me getting out and going to a business and introducing myself to the leader there, sharing some of my information with them, overcoming imposter syndrome, fear, rejection, all that kind of good stuff. Cash producing actions was paying to go to a supply chain synopsis. That was a cash producing action. And then have a strategy of how I'm going to meet everyone and meet as many people as possible in the room. Planning that ahead, thinking through it by looking at who are the speakers, who might be there, and then following up with those people and getting them on the phone and sending them proposals or asking for 2 or 3 leads from them that would help me. Now, those are the kind of cash producing actions that help me. What is it for you? You need to define those for yourself and start doing those. And really and truly, I design my day with what I call my deep work. And my deep work is focusing on those cash producing actions in that time frame. And the one thing I want you to get really clear about related to how the cash calms the chaos, that cash flow, it also protects your family. And any of you have been the main breadwinner for your family and that bread ain't coming in, that's a different feeling. So when you think about cash producing actions, what's the one action you can take in the next 7 days to produce some cash? Now here's where most people lose the rebuild. They grind for stability and destroy their health along the way. You need to see rest as a leadership system because your productivity crisis isn't a work problem. It's a rest problem. And the reality is it happened to me last week. Yeah, man, I've been going all week long. And on Saturday, I just want to get caught up on some yard work. Okay, a little behind on some of it. And I went all in on it, really did. And I accomplished a lot. And I could tell it because I felt it. After I was finished, I was beat. Okay, I was wore out. And see, Saturday's supposed to be kind of my rest day. I kind of recuperate, refuel, but I didn't. That Saturday was not that day for me. And I'd had a busy week already. And I overdid it. And it took me out all day Sunday, majority of my Monday. Yeah, I was just exhausted. I don't know if I was coming down with something on top of it, but I was just completely exhausted. I don't know if you've ever done that to yourself, but if you got a scheduled rest day and you don't take it, you're going to screw yourself up, just like I did. And you got to stop thinking about rest as a reward. And that's so much me. I mean, I don't know why I've always had problem trying to rest, but I just do for some reason, and I don't get it. Okay, I will feel guilty as hell sitting around not doing nothing. Yeah, I will. So I don't know how to explain it, but stop looking at rest as a reward and start looking at it as a requirement that you give yourself time to rest. One of the things I've started doing for myself now that my workload is changed and I can design my life the way I want to. I start the day much slower. Yeah, I don't have to rush and run out and go somewhere right away. Are there days like that? Yeah, there are. I had days like that last week. I had to go do that. That was part of the day. But most days are not. I have a planned slower start to my day. And then I have built-in nap time. Yep, I worked overseas, lived in Thailand for 13 years. And I know a lot of other cultures. The Thai culture, when you get out and outside of the big cities, I mean, you'll go to a vendor late mid-afternoon, if slow down, they might be sitting there taking a nap. Yeah, I know most offices might not be like that, but hey, I've worked with the Japanese and the Koreans. I've seen them take a nap at their desk because they've been working so many long hours and they needed to rest and recuperate to make it through the rest of the day. I've done it before in the corporate world. My lunch break, I go out to my car, take a 15-minute nap at time if I need to. 10 minutes, whatever it is, to help me make it through the day if I needed to do that. I did that before. But if you're leading people, caring for your nervous system is part of your job, because without good rest, you're not going to be able to lead effectively. And you're not going to be able to control your emotions in those high pressure situations because you're exhausted. And that burnout, when you're done that, it's going to show up in a hurry with your temper and with bad decisions and inconsistent execution. And I know you got a lot on your plate. We all do. That's why you got to take care of yourself. And that's why you got to make your rest a priority. I developed a simple framework to help leaders perform at a high level so they don't burn themselves out. And it's the MEDIC framework. And it starts with mindfulness. I know I told you earlier that I like to start my day at a slower pace. And part of the mindfulness for me in the first part of my day is getting centered around my faith and spending some time in prayer and meditation and reading the Bible. But mindfulness also means that in those high pressure moments when the stakes are high and you're feeling the effects of it, that you can also downshift for a few minutes and do some deep breathing exercises where you can act so you can respond in an appropriate manner in those high pressure situations. So it's knowing yourself well, but it's also being mindful of the situation and where you're at and what you need to do to help you perform in the best way possible in that moment. The second part is exercise. And for me, that's walking and lifting. That's my goal is to average 10K steps a day. And I'm doing 3 weightlifting workouts a week right now. That is what I do for myself. That helps me maintain my focus. It also boosts my mood and it helps me build a healthy lifestyle. And that walking, I'm trying to do it as much outside as possible. That doesn't mean I won't get on a treadmill occasionally. Yes, I will. And a lot of my walks right now are doing ruck walks just to add some intensity to it at the same time. But I'm getting those lifts in, I'm getting those walks in, and that's what I'm doing for my exercise. Now for you, it might be different, but you need to be doing something for your health, exercise-wise, that you enjoy and rejuvenates you. Also get out and play a few rounds of golf each week. Sometimes it's just walking 9 holes, and other times it's not only doing and walking the 9, it's also going out on a cart and playing 18. So it's those things for my exercise that I do. Third thing is just diet. Eating whole foods, healthy, balanced diet. Protein first. 1 gram of protein for your body weight or your desired body weight. Okay. And then having lots of vegetables and good fruits and having good carbs and trying to balance that. And for me, I switch that. My calories go up on the days that I'm lifting. I have a higher calorie intake, more carb intake. Non-lift days where it's just walking and steps, calorie intake goes down, carbs go down. And I'm living that way. And I'm using AI to help me with that. And I have other things I do to track it as well. Okay. But that is part of it. But it's also meaning that I'm doing food prep. You can buy meal programs if you want to do that for yourself. But I'm putting thought into it, preparing it ahead of time so that I have the right foods on hand so I can eat a balanced diet. And the fourth thing is impactful relationships. And these are your most important relationships, especially related to family, wife, kids, your family. They are the non-negotiables. They are your priority. You're going to build time with them and spend time with them and make them a priority for yourself. And those close friendships that have real meaning and bring life to you, make time for them as well. And the final part is just conscious rest and sleep. That is your planned recovery. It's not accidental collapse. You're being consistent with your bedtime, your wake up time. You're trying to get 7 or 8 hours of sleep, and you're really taking a day off and getting some real rest for yourself. And that's it. That's the MEDIC framework. Those 5 things. And when I'm doing it, I'm tracking it. I'm tracking my sleep. I'm tracking my steps. I'm tracking my workouts. And it helps me monitor how I'm doing. But I'm not tracking the wins. I'm just tracking the reps. Okay? And then I use the data to help me get better in certain areas. that I'm trying to improve on as far as my health is concerned. I know I told you earlier that I started the day with a hangover, and I did. I'm not proud of that, okay? But I had a friend that's moving on in their life, and they're having their farewell party, and I want to go celebrate and have fun, and I did. But I didn't let that hijack my day-to-day. And, you don't have to be perfect. No leader is. None of us will ever be. No problem striving for it. But you do need a system that helps you survive real life. And the MEDIC framework will help you do that. And if you're rebuilding, you also have to protect something else, and it's your integrity. You see, I'm not here to look successful. I'm here to become stable and build a brand that makes an impact and really helps people. And as I'm building this brand, I can honestly tell you, it's not fucking easy. It's not easy at all. It's hard as work. And some of the results just aren't there. And even without the results not being where I really want them to be, I can build and create stability into my life as I make it happen for myself. And part of that stability is just building my own operating system around it. It is me having a detailed schedule and plan for today. It is blocking off what I classify as my deep work hours and being consistent with that. And it's also me scheduling what I need to get done for my roofing side of it as well. And it's building it around a life that I want to have. Yes, it's creating a pipeline of good leads, and it's being consistent and reaching out, following up, communicating, scheduling, getting people on the phone. It's no different than going to the gym and putting in the reps. It's no different than what I talked about earlier with the MEDIC framework of tracking what I'm doing. And I am tracking it, and I'm monitoring it, and I'm measuring the results of it. And it's also creating a cadence, even a cadence about my content, how to get better at that as well. And it's by being consistent and doing these things that I build the trust. And that trust builds trust faster than testimonials. And seeing it on the coaching side, I'm seeing it on the roofing side. It's when I have that trust, that opportunity, that door, so much easier to open. When I don't have that trust, it takes a lot more work and effort to open that door, to get my foot in there, to create that opportunity. You can smell performance. Your audience, whoever you're working with, they can smell it, but they will respect process when they see you continue going through and going over your process and how you do it. For me, as I'm doing this, and I think about, even when I'm doing my social media content, I am very particular about the message I'm getting out there, because I'm not going to exaggerate and lie. I'm going to be straight up with you, and I'm going to make sure my content communicates that as well, because that's just who I am. And I can tell you, it's hard right now. Yeah, I've had more no's than yeses, way more no's. I've had people show tons of interest and go cold on their correspondence. Really, get ghosted. That's the new professional thing out there, it seems like to me. And I'm not the only one experiencing it. I've talked with others. They experience the same thing. Just say yes or no. Hey, just answer the damn email. That's all I need you to do. Hell, if you're not going to take it, you don't want the proposal, great. Just tell me. Okay? They ain't going to upset me. At least I know. And those are the things. I'm not going to BS you and bullshit you. You don't BS me, and hey, we'll be great. Okay? But as you're building something for yourself out there, hey, do it honestly. Do it with integrity. And, as you're doing it, measure, monitor, track, and just try different things. Man, I tried something different last week. And by trying something different, I overcame imposter syndrome, overcame some fear, and stepped out and did something new and different and got my foot in the door somewhere else. It's only because I was willing to try it and take a chance. Take a chance on me. And if you're listening to this today, you need to take a chance on yourself. So my question to you is, would you rather look successful or become stable? Let me give you the exact next step you need to take if you're in this same season. If you're rebuilding right now, comment rebuild below, and I'll share with you the exact weekly structure I'm using to create that stability. And if you want the recovery side, grab my free Conscious Reset Guide for Leaders in the link in the description below. I also share the details of a 30-day challenge I'm launching, because rebuilding shouldn't cost you your health or your family. I'm Miles Threat. Thank you for joining me for Legacy Leaders Lounge today. Stability first, rest second, truth always. Look forward to seeing you in the next episode.